everyone, and welcome to Portal 64, your gateway to My Hero Academia. I'm your host, David, and today we are talking about One for All, the newest episode of My Hero Academia. While I was doing my Assassin's Creed stream, a few of you have actually said you would like to see some My Hero Academia reviews, which I am more than happy to supply you with, and it's actually something I've been thinking about doing. It was just more of like a template type thing that I need to figure out, and like how long I want to make the videos, and also I usually see the episodes on the day they come out, but for the last 2 weekends, because I've been busy cosplaying Todoroki, I actually did not see them till like later. Here I am with my late review, and I don't know when these videos will be coming out. I will be trying to have them come out before the episode after them comes out. Let's get on the road, shall we? I read the mangas for My Hero Academia. That's how I got introduced to the series. I went to Barnes & Noble. They were doing a buy two get one free deal with Viz Media, and I was like, hey, My Hero Academia, that looks interesting. It's about superheroes. I love superheroes, and I have a few friends like That Kaido Dan talking about it on Twitter, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And I fell in love with the series immediately, and so just so you know, I knew this episode was coming for a long time, and I know what's going to happen afterwards and everything, so I'm not going to spoil any of that, but you know an episode or a moment is going to be great, or is great, if it impacts you just as hard watching it in the anime form as it did when you're reading the manga. Like, I was just sobbing over Volume 11 of My Hero Academia, just watching All Might fight All for One, and then I always almost say One for All, which is All Might and Deku's power. Experiencing something for the first time is always like a special thing, like discovering your favorite show or your favorite book or your best friend. Like you could only experience that once. And to see something like a manga brought to life as anime and still have it hit you just as hard is amazing. They did an amazing job just capturing what I felt reading the manga at like midnight, because I bought it super late because I was editing at Barnes & Noble, and then I didn't read it till I get home, which was after they kicked me out when Barnes & Noble closed. One moment that really stuck out to me with the music for this episode was when All for One was telling All Might that Tomura was the grandson of Nana Shimura, and it's like, like, I knew this moment was coming, like, but like the music just like really held in the despair that All Might was feeling, and being like, how can I let someone that's like close to me, like their relative, become so twisted and dark, and like the opposite of what she was is now her grandson. Like her grandson just wants to take down All Might and everything he built, and All for One, just being the villain that he is like, okay, All Might, this is my revenge. You took down everything that I built up, and now I'm gonna take everything that you built up. And it's just a whole flip, and that's something I really love about My Hero Academia. Was with Tomura, he's like Deku. He, instead of wanting to be a hero, he wants to be a villain, but he sucks at it. And he has a mentor who is actually a really good mentor in teaching him how to be good. And, you know, Stain was a huge push for his cause, and just creating chaos for the world of My Hero Academia. And we have Deku with All Might, and All Might actually hasn't been like the best teacher for Deku yet, and like All Might, a lot of the stuff kind of came naturally for him, or as All for One even says in this episode, is that Nana Shimura, she was not a good fighter, she just had these strong ideals, which All Might definitely has both. He's a great fighter, and he has the great ideals, and that's why he's like the pillar for the world of My Hero Academia. And now everyone's starting to see that crumble, except for All Might frickin' sticks it to the man. It was awesome. I love All Might so much, and like this, it's really hard to put to words how I feel about All Might and how this moment feels, because you just wanted to cheer him on. Like, he's already, like, on the highest pedestal you could have him, but yet he's struggling so freaking much, and it looks like he might not make it. And the show and the manga had been hinting that his time is running out, and right here you're like, this is the end. This is the end. Like, totally, when reading the manga, thinking he was going to die. Like, here, I'm gonna grab the cover. This was the cover for the volume. Like, does this not look like a man who's about to die? Like, just, like, looking at the cover when I was buying it, I was like, he's going to die. And right at the end of volume 10, they have them clashing, and, like, All For One says, "Here to kill me again, All Might," which I think in the anime they changed it, "Will you kill me again?" Which that's a subtle change, but to me it didn't seem as strong as the manga saying, "Will you kill me again?" I think "Here to kill me again, All Might," it was like more of a daring and more of a cliffhanger thing, but that line was said in the middle of the episode before this. So to me, I was like, oh, that's weird timing. I would have thought that would be at the end of an episode, but hey. Now, back to loving All Might and him being on a pedestal. Like, he already holds, like, the purest of ideals of, like, helping those in need. It's not about the fame, but if you get that fame, you use that to help lift others up, and he's just an amazing guy, and you see him struggling, and you see what, like, possibly everything that he's built up now starting to crumble as his image to the world is literally falling apart. He's going back to his true form, his weak and skinny, sunken-eyed form, and he's still giving it his all. And he said, "You might be able to take my body and my strength, but you will never steal my heart." And that is why I love All Might. We were seeing true All Might. Like, sure, he has all of his strength and might, but he's still the same guy no matter what. He's still gonna fight the good fight, even though the odds are totally against him. And you see that with everyone, like, cheering him on. Like, the audience in the show is literally the audience reading the manga or watching the anime. Like, we were Deku, we were Todoroki, we were Bakugo, we were screaming, "You can't do it!" And All Might, he just does it. He goes past the extreme. He goes beyond plus ultra. He is almost that saying embodied almost, and why he's such a huge inspiration for me. And this fight just, like, totally solidifies him for that. Unlike All For One, he's not that great of a teacher. He hasn't had time to reprimand Deku. He's always kind of given Deku positive reinforcement, and when Deku does mistakes, he doesn't, like, tell him, "Hey, you should be more careful," or "Hey, this is how you do it better." You know, he's just like, "Oh, Deku, good job, my boy." And Deku, you know, after he fought Todoroki, you know, his arms are, like, totally obliterated from his own power, and All Might was just like, "Oh, good job in that fight. You made me proud." He wasn't like, "Dude, you gotta be more careful. We gotta train you more," you know? He doesn't know how to teach Deku yet, and that was one of his main pushes for motivation to keep going and surviving the fight. And he's like, the episode came on Father's Day weekend, and I think that is so fitting, because even though he's not Deku's biological father, he very much is, like, the father figure for Deku, because throughout the series we still haven't seen Deku's father. And from Deku just watching All Might on TV, that was, like, his father figure of, like, who he inspired to be and, like, what he wanted to be like and learn from. And now he's actually learning from All Might, and All Might's actually trying to teach him and give him support by giving him his quirk and all of that. And I'm just rambling, but I love this man. I don't want to see him in pain like this ever again. But knowing My Hero Academia and the course it's going, I don't think I'm gonna get that wish. He's just so freaking pure. All Might, why? I literally cried throughout most of the episode, just seeing what a positive figure he is, learning why he smiles, and like saying like, you know, the strongest ones are the ones who smile. His mentor said that to him, and that's always what he's saying to Deku. And like, he's like, hey, you know, when you're helping people, you gotta do it with a smile, and like, everything's fine. Why? I'm here. And like, it's just like, how does that not rub off on the people around him? And it does, of course, because everyone's cheering him on, even though he's in his small form, and he's trying to make his buff arm and punch All For One. You know, and All For One is just, you know, taunting him over and over again, being like, look, I am destroying everything around you. You don't stand a chance against me. And All Might's just like, I'm doing it. Like, even though I'm gonna probably die, I'm gonna do it. And he did it, and he survived. He went beyond Plus Ultra. And I really like how he did the last blow for Deku. I mean, not for Deku, but against All For One. I think it was definitely something for Deku, and even inspired by Deku, because, you know, Gran Torino, he keeps telling All Might, like, hey, you gotta think this through, you gotta strategize. You know, he's kind of being his like coach to Little Mac, you know, telling him like, hey, these are his weak points, or you gotta watch out for this, you know. And All Might, you know, we all know, like, he's been watching Deku, and Deku, he's a thinker. Deku thinks things through, he plans stuff, and he always finds a creative way through. And I think All Might's last hit on All For One was inspired by Deku. Like, the relationship's going both ways. They're teaching each other. Deku was a huge inspiration for him to keep pushing and to survive the fight and not die taking down All For One. So he, you know, he shrinks his arm to the other arm to get kind of a distraction hit, and then like All For One, he opens up to try to counter that, and then he goes back to the original arm and he does the United States of Smash, which is like, oh my gosh, he threw everything. He threw all 50 states into that, and it was just amazing. And it was like the perfect moment, I guess, for him to just take down All For One, win the fight, and it just have it be done in such a Deku kind of way, I guess. Like, I don't know. I just love the moment. It was great, and I just love how he doesn't stop trying to be the symbol of peace. He doesn't stop trying to be that pillar. The villains very much thought this was going to be like the end of the pillar that holds up society, and in a way, part of that pillar has chipped away, but for the most part, All Might is still alive. He's still inspiring people. Even his weakened form, he throws his fist up in the air, and he pushes himself to be in his power form. And everyone, I think it was Endeavor, or it was either Endeavor or Edge Shot. They said, don't push yourself. And Gran Torino was like, no, he's still working. Let him do this. And you know, he goes back small, and he points to the camera, and he said, next, it's your turn. And that was so epic. And you know, for Deku, you know, he said most people, they saw that as a message to the villains. But for me, I saw the opposite. That was him saying that's the last he's given. He no longer has One For All, and it's now like Deku's turn to take up the mantle. It's a powerful moment, and you really feel empathetic with Deku for it, because this episode just really brings out the respect for All Might, and we get to see him in action again. Like, it's no longer just words and being told. We're seeing who he is and just what could have been his final moments. And I just loved it. 10 out of 10 episode. I loved it. And ever since I've been reading up ahead in the manga, and season 3's been starting, everyone with the training camp episodes like, oh my gosh, things are so crazy. I'm like, nope. You know nothing yet. You know nothing yet. Anyway, guys, that's kind of my review. I think my reviews are going to be rambles. I'm not a scholar in critiquing or reviewing stuff. I'm just going to give out what I felt of the episode. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to see more of my videos, especially my RWBY podcast, Vitalcast, on Fridays. And I will whoop you next time.